Please welcome from the Washington Capitals. Please say hello to Mr. John Carlson. Hey, John.
How's it going?
I am doing great, man. How are you?
Fantastic. Just fantastic. Looking forward to this week.
Why are we taking so long to get our season going, John?
I'm not quite sure that. That's not my cup of tea to discuss that. But on one hand, it seems like a little wonky from years past. But I had a couple extra good practices. Probably can't hurt us either.
I was going to say, I guess the downside is at least from the fan side of it, John, is like, oh my God, let's get going already. Like, we've been playing since Tuesday. Chicago's played 2 games already. And then the other part of me looks at it and goes, okay, so I mean, I guess it's an extra week of training camp or just regular practice if you look at it that way, which, like you said, I guess if there's going to be a time to do it, the beginning of the year, it's the time to do it.
Yeah, and I guess the scholar in me would say, well, we're probably going to get crunched another week somewhere during the year that we're going to have too many games in. But you can never predict these things, so I just know, when to show up, and that's that's what happens. I can't change any scheduling conflicts.
But I guess the other nice part of it is, and well, you'll tell me, the little team outing. You guys got to go away, play a little golf. Just change things up for a week and just get away. I mean, whether you want to call it team building or just spending some time. I mean, that was kind of nice to get booked into the middle of it.
Oh, for sure. I think that helps a lot. We got a few new guys, obviously a lot of new coaches. So it was nice. Maybe, training camp is wild. I think everybody's getting pulled in a million different directions, and especially the coaches dealing with that many guys in camp. So it was nice to get down to our group and, kind of chill out a little bit. We obviously practiced before we left and on the way home as well. But it was just nice to have some stress-free time, kind of somewhat like a regular season road trip would be, and, blow off some steam and get ready for this long season ahead of us.
Hey, so I guess 2 things, John. Number 1 is, how was camp this year? Like you said, new coaches. You get new players like you do every year. That's fine. But how was camp for? I mean, listen, it's not your rookie year. You've certainly been doing this for a while. Was camp different this year?
I think they're all a little bit different. I think they're all strenuous and hard in a way, which they should be. But I just love the detail and the pace of everything that he does. He's a very calculated coach, and I think when I'm speaking about him, I think the whole staff is kind of cut from that same mold. And we were very precise on what we wanted to accomplish each day, and he pushed us hard to make sure that our level of compete, our level of pace, and the way that we communicate with one another, the way that we execute, is at a very high level. And I think, this is the best camp that I can remember for a while here.
And with Spencer Carberry specifically as the new head coach, John, it seems 2 things. Number 1, it seems as though, at least externally, that he's as advertised, that he was going to come in, he was going to kind of figure out the guys, each of the players, and what motivates them and what works best with them, as opposed to, here's my system, here's how I do it, you figure out how to fit in. And then he talked a lot when he got hired about pace, and at least watching some of the preseason games, it seems like pace was a big thing for sure with him.
Oh, absolutely. And I can definitely, like I alluded to before, I think that's obviously one of his huge things that I think we've done a great job with. And also, as far as his personality, I think he's a open and honest kind of guy, and each guy, needs something different. I think it's a little bit different than when I came into the league with how players react to certain things, and you have to be able to, find out, little things about each player that make them tick, that help them through something. And I think that was, just another reason to get away for a few days, and you have more of those conversations. You run into, the staff a lot more when you're in a hotel versus they're in the coach's office breaking down film or having meetings and whatever. So it probably gave them a little bit more opportunity to, on a personal level, get to know guys, and I think that goes a long way these days.
Hey, John, let me ask you this. Like, if you look at the opening night roster, now that you're down to your group, they're the names that we would have expected to have been there from the beginning. Ovechkin, Backstrom, Carlson, you obviously, Wilson, Oshie, and that list goes on and on. And then guys that have kind of just a couple of years in but have been there. But there is a decent amount of youth that comes in, and guys like Connor McMichael have been around the team. But when you get somebody specifically like Matthew Phillips, who seems so excited and beyond belief that he's part of the team, is that kind of energy just infectious with a bunch of the veterans?
I think absolutely. I think it helps on the ice. I think it helps especially in the room, though, too. I think, us older guys, we all got kids. We get up early in the morning, We've been through it a few times before, and it's nice to have some young bucks in the room just grinning ear to ear, smiling, happy, bringing the energy, and I think that helps the morale in a huge way. And I think also just the infusion of some youth throughout our lineup, both on the back end and on up front, will help. This new style of game that we're trying to accomplish out there.
And then one of the other big things that got talked about during the offseason and heading into this season was the power play, which has always been great for the Capitals, and last year was an off year. And they talked about two things that needed to happen. Number one, we needed to get you back quarterbacking the power play. So I'm assuming, healthy, ready to go, fully set, and will be out there quarterbacking the power play. Is that a great position to be in on the ice?
Yeah, I think so. I think especially with the kind of guys that I get to move the puck around to and read off of, I think the special teams is extremely important, and especially throughout the playoffs, it's enormous. So I think our power play was okay last year. I think if anything, the success rates are getting higher and higher each year. So I think that bar that, if you want to be in the top 5 or 6 teams in the league has raised a lot, and we got to answer that bell. And I think we've had a good PK last year, and pretty much all of our PKers coming back this season. So if we keep that up and turn this power play a couple more percent, that makes a big impact throughout a season, and that's what we're going for.
The only time because I think it would be one of the best positions on the ice. Like you said, you're back there, you get to decide, am I going to shoot the puck? Am I going to move it this way to Ovi? Am I going to move it this way to Kuzi or Backstrom? Am I going to fire something up the middle and Oshie's there, or Wilson, or whoever's going to be there? The only time I feel for you is sometimes watching the game, John, is I'll see you, like the other team will clear the puck. Listen, you don't score every time. If they clear the puck and it goes all the way down the ice, sometimes I feel like I see your eyes roll back in your head of like, crap, I got to skate all the way back and get this now.
Well, yeah, I guess it depends. It sucks when you have to skate back and go and get it, and it's always different. But I think if anything, we want to put the pressure on them all the time. So anytime the puck gets cleared, you're probably not as excited as if it's moving around in the zone. But just another thing, I think from a player standpoint, it's a real fun part of the game, just because it's kind of the most tactical thing that you can do. There's little, everyone has systems and whatnot, but I feel the power play is more like we get to anticipate, we get to dictate what happens on the ice, we get to pre-scout the finer details of the game that can either, beat a team or gain an advantage here or there. So that's what makes it unique and special. And I think that's why, the best in the league are usually the best on the power play too.
Hey, John, will we notice anything different? Because I remember when Carberry got hired, and I was talking to him, and we talked about he wants to change some things around about the power play. Are they so small but make a big difference if you're a player, but as a fan we won't notice anything different?
Yeah, I think so. I think, everybody, if you look around the league and if you watch other teams, everybody pretty much does the same thing. They pretty much have the same 5 or 6 breakouts that you could do. In zone, there's maybe two variations, maybe a team with two high guys versus, more of a 1-3-1 look. And then either way, you're kind of rotating between the two of them anyways, I think. So it all comes down to execution. I think there's certain things that we could certainly do better that we've been working on, to enhance that execution. But I think mentality is big too. I think we're going to try to stay on our toes a lot more, try to attack a lot more than we have. And I think maybe one of our downfalls is maybe sitting back a little bit too much here or there, and being a little bit too passive, waiting for the perfect play versus, hey, we got great players. Let's make a few plays and get in there and start some chaos, start getting them on their heels a little bit more than we have in the past. So I don't think there's going to be something. We're not reinventing the wheel.
Right.
Every power play around the league is very similar, but certainly from our standpoint, it should be a little bit different.
Hey, John, let me ask you this. Have you watched any hockey since the season got going on Tuesday night?
Yeah, we had a team dinner on Tuesday night, and we were all watching that opening game there.
Can I ask you this? And it's going to be the obligatory Bedard question. Is when somebody but I mean it from this standpoint. When somebody like Bedard comes along, and if you go back, it was Connor McDavid, and if you go back before that, it was Ovi and Sid coming in together, and then you could keep going back to that generational guy that comes out I mean, listen, it's great exposure from the sport, but as a player, do you look at it and go, it's just another guy making it into the league? Or is there some excitement even in the league of going, it's great when a generational guy like that comes along?
Yeah, I think it's fantastic. I think it's great for the game. It's great to, you need these pillars of the game to grow it, to, make it popular, to, enhance the product on the ice. And then certainly, I would say that every year it seems like the next Connor McDavid's coming. It always seems like that. And then certainly this guy's got off to a great start, and he looks fantastic out there too. But yeah, I think it's perfect for the game. It's great to get hyped up over something, and excitement is great for everybody, whether it's your team or somebody else. It's just this game's headed in the right direction, and the more and more of these generational talents that we accumulate, I think everyone will be more thankful for.
Well, I'll tell you, the best thing that came out of Tuesday night is it took 2 points off of Pittsburgh that I'm sure they thought that they were going to get. The East, the Metro, I feel like every division right now, and yes, it's the beginning of the season, but I feel like everything is going to be so tight, John, that even early on, you can't afford to vomit up 2 points.
No, I know. It seems, and just kind of piggyback at that last question, I think that the game of hockey is in a great spot. I think the parity of the game is awesome. I think any team could beat any team any night, no matter what. And that's just great. It's great for everybody. I think every team you look at, to your point, is you're like, oh wow, this team got better. This team got better. This team got better. So. It's going to be tight in the East. We know that from the beginning. And like you said, these games coming up here matter just as much as down the stretch like we saw last year. So you never want to, take anything for granted in this league. And it's certainly not these days when the level of play is just so high throughout everybody's lineup. There's not like I feel like when I came into the league, it was more like, the first line was all the studs. The second line was good players, and then it kind of trickled down into like a defensive line, and then kind of a make some noise line. And now it's like there was a lot more matchups. Oh, we got to get this guy against this center against this center, this D against this D. And now it's like you can't really do that. The talent is off the charts. The depth of talent is off the charts, and it's just a lot less of that matchy. We got to get these guys against these guys because there's just so many other weapons throughout everybody's lineups.
Do you still get opening night nerves?
Oh, for sure. I think there's a lot that goes into a summer of training. I think when you're out of the game for a while, anyways, there's some nerves whenever you come back, and it's for real. And it's just excitement. It's great to have a little nerves. It's great to feel a little uneasy and. it just shows you how much you love the game and how much you care. And I think we're all thrilled to have those nerves again.
Well, that's awesome. Tomorrow night, opening night against the Pittsburgh Penguins. Of course, there'll be the big rock the red carpet where you guys will walk, take pictures with fans, make your way in. Season gets underway tomorrow. And then, like you said, it goes quick. 3 games the following week, 4 the week after that. So the couple days off were nice, but boy, they're going to jam them in on you quick.
Yep, we knew that was coming.
Hey, John, I appreciate it. Hey, best of luck tomorrow night, and let's go for a long run this year.
All right, thank you very much. Thanks for having me.